For weeks, James Arthur Ray publicly defended his decision to keep up his public appearances, saying continuing his quote-unquote important work was the best way to honor the dead. Clearly, something in the past 24 hours has changed. When fans of James Arthur Ray showed up for his event in Toronto last night, they were greeted by a sign saying the show had been canceled.
From what I know, James Ray's getting a lot of heat over what's happened down south. So I imagine something's happened with that, and I'm sure his legal team is saying, don't get involved.
But as it turns out, Ray canceled his events for the rest of the year so he can focus on helping police in the Sedona investigation. For that reason, he posted on his website, these events will be rescheduled as soon as possible in 2010 once the essential work that must be done on the Sedona tragedy has been completed. It was supposed to be Ray's third event since 3 people died earlier this month in a sweat lodge ceremony that Ray organized at his so-called spiritual warrior retreat. Andrea Puckett's mother, Liz Newman, was one of the participants. She went into a coma as a result of severe dehydration and later died. What do you think should happen to James Arthur Ray now?
I think that he should take responsibility for his role in this incident. And honestly, I think he deserves to be behind bars. I think that he was completely negligent, and I believe that he is responsible for my mother's death.
Shortly after the deaths, Ray posted a message on his website expressing his condolences to the families.
That's not who you are.
James Ray's self-help star rose dramatically after appearing in the 2006 best-selling book and movie The Secret, which preaches the law of attraction, which says you can attract anything you want, money, love, improved health, through the power of your thoughts.
If you are constantly thinking, feeling, and acting broke, then you're never going to attract prosperity in your life.
In this interview I conducted with Ray in 2007, he defended The Secret against critics who were asking, what does The Secret say about the victims of tragedies like the Holocaust or 9/11? Are those people to blame for simply thinking incorrectly?
I know many people, for instance, of the Jewish faith and heritage who don't necessarily believe that the Holocaust was bad. Now that might be shocking to you, but I have people on record who have said, hey, there was a lot of good things that came out of that, a lot of lessons, a lot of opportunities for the world.
The Sweat Lodge disaster is not the first time Ray has had trouble at one of his events. Donna Fleming unsuccessfully took Ray to court to get a refund for the $6,000 she paid for a retreat where Ray made her and others dress up as homeless people.
We're all loaded onto buses with no idea of where we're going, and it was on the bus that we were told that we were going to be dropped off in downtown San Diego. And I finally realized, without any doubt, that I had been taken for a substantial sum of money for an absolutely ridiculous experience.
But Dave Orton disagrees. He went through the same homeless exercise this past December and loved it.
The lesson I took away from this experience was that I can survive in any circumstances. I can take from nothing and create exactly what I want to create.
Bob Proctor, a self-help superstar in his own right and an early mentor for James Ray, says his friend has helped a lot of people.
I know him to be a different person, but I don't know what happened there. And a lot of people are commenting about him that don't know him and weren't there.
So, as a believer in the law of attraction, did Ray attract this disaster into his life? Well, here's what Ray said on the topic of responsibility when I interviewed him 2 years ago.
I fully know, for me, that there's no blame. Every single thing is your responsibility, as I've said so many times, and nothing is your fault. Because every single thing that comes to you is a gift, it's a lesson.
We asked James Ray for another interview, but were instead given a statement from his lawyer who said, and I'm quoting here, Mr. Ray was not the one who was responsible for the design, construction, or maintenance of the Sweat Lodge. All of the participants in the event were fully informed of the health risks that could be posed by sweat lodges. Robin?
There's so much more here, Dan, isn't there?
There's a lot here, I think.
I'm having trouble getting past what he said about the Holocaust to you.
I think a lot of people will find that interesting.
But people are still showing up for his seminars. They had to be turned away.
He's a very popular man, has a broad appeal. People like his message.
Yeah, all right, Dan, thanks. And you can find more on the story at abcnews.com. We appreciate that.